Hey there, good afternoon. Greetings, everybody. Welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, we're here today. This is an episode that I promised to do. So, what I've done is I did a masterpiece album war, which lasted a fairly lengthy time, with the expressed idea that I would see if my masterpiece albums that have been my masterpiece albums or my favorite ones for the past, oh God knows, going back to my teens, are still the albums that I think they are. And I found out that, well, first of all, we determined that my favorite album was still my favorite album. But I've determined since what I did is I took the results of the masterpiece albums and compared albums to each other until I got an order that I think represents what happened. And then I made a few adjustments because some albums, they may have had a bad day or whatever, and I decided to move them down, but they just don't deserve to be that far down. So I did make a few alterations to that. So basically, what I'm doing here now is giving you the current favorite 25 masterpiece albums, or my current 25 favorite albums, however you want to look at this, because that's essentially what it is. And I'm going to give you my top 25 favorite all the way down. Not a ton of changes, but some significant changes for sure. The bands that had the most albums before still kind of have my big three, yes, Genesis and Rush. Although Jethro Tull has moved into my second favorite band, but they don't have the same amount of albums as some of the other bands. Sabbath did well too with 3. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this episode. It's meant as fun. These are not the definitive best albums in the history of rock. That's just would be ludicrous because I'm just one person. So these are just my favorite albums according to how I see them based on my masterpiece selection. So anyways, without further ado, we're going to get to it. So number 25 comes from Peter Gabriel. It's not the album I would have thought was going to be there. I had my opinion about which one would be there if there was one there at all. And this one kind of surprised me, but when I was listening to it, I remembered how much I liked it when I first got it. And I had the German version originally, so this is Security from Peter Gabriel coming here at number 25. Number 24, which was an album that made Masterpiece list. I think it actually made it the year before, so not last year, but the year before. And has moved ahead of one of the albums by this group and got the 24th spot. And we're talking about Trespass from Genesis. Fantastic album. It seems to grow on me every time I listen to it. It's something different about it. It's not as, it doesn't have Phil Collins and Steve Hackett, so it was always a bit of a weaker album, but it has grown on me. I think it's the songs more than the instrumentation. Number 23 is an album that was my first by this band, and it's stayed strong and gotten actually stronger because it's a heavier album than most of their early albums, and that's Drama from Yes, coming number 23. Number 22 is the only one by this band. Easily my favorite album by this band, and kind of quirky that it's now outperforming the album that it got its title from. Not Fragile. It got its title from the album Fragile from Yes, but it's ahead of it here. So Bachman Turner Overdrive's third studio album, Not Fragile, coming here at number 22. Number 21 is the one-off for this band. For this guy, I thought it would be here. I wasn't sure how far it got. It was the only album selected for my semifinals to actually get into the semifinals, and it was selected second because that particular group had 5 albums in it. And we're talking about Paul Simon's Graceland. That's my number 21. So next up is my number 20 from Black Sabbath. I've seen this album be here. I didn't think it would make this list, but it's come on a little over the years, despite the album cover and that's Paranoid by Black Sabbath, number 20. Number 19, also from Genesis, an album that I've long loved. I wasn't sure it was going to make this list, but it has proven me that it's dominating for me, and that's Wind and the Wuthering, coming here at number 19. So number 18 is up. This comes from a strong heavy metal band, actually outperforming another metal band, which I didn't think would happen. But this album has really, I loved it a lot initially, and it's continued to love it, and it's grown on me over the last few years again. Screaming for Vengeance from Judas Priest, number 18, or actually I think that is, yeah, it's 18. I did say that too. So number 17 comes from my favorite band. This album surprisingly made this list. I didn't think it was strong enough, but it definitely did. It was, and that's Hemispheres from Rush. Number 16, this album was much higher up initially for me. Over the years, it's always been in my top 10, but it's faded over the years, and listening to it, I know why now. It just doesn't have the stay power that it once did, and that's Kiss Alive, but it's still strong enough to make it here, number 16. Yeah, okay. Yep, I was right on. So number 15, back to Genesis again, an album that has gotten a bit stronger over the years. It's moving its way up. Eventually, I think this could make my top 10, but it's number 15 today, Foxtrot. And the last one in the first stack here, which is number 14, another Genesis album. This one I thought might actually capture the top spot, but it's not going to get it here. Selling England by the Pound is number 14. So that's my first stack. Just going to move them out of the way here so I don't knock them around. Now, on to the top stack. So there's top 13 albums now. From Rush, an album that was in my top 5 for many years, and my favorite Rush album for many years, but it's not held up as well as I thought it would. Over the years, it's kind of faded. So to the point now where the only song I really want to listen to is Natural Science. The rest, not really interested in hearing much these days. I'm not sure why that's happened. But number 13, Rush's Permanent Waves. Next album has moved up again. Probably in the same area that it was last time, but it is still continuing to move, and I think eventually could end up in the top spot for Black Sabbath. And we're talking about number 12 album, Master of Reality. Okay. Number 11, this album made it to the finals in my Masterpiece Album Wars, but it didn't have quite the competition to get there as some of the other albums. So it didn't finish as high as I thought it, but it wasn't even on my top 25 list at one time, but it's continuously moved up and is now in 11th place, Equinox from Styx. Next up, and now getting into the top 10 albums. This album was a top 10 album and still is a top 10 album. It kind of faded just a bit, but still my favorite Genesis album, Trick of the Tail. The Genesis albums are all bunched up here. So that's my number 10. At number 9, coming from Rush, 2 albums actually moved ahead of Permanent Waves into the top 10, and that's Caress of Steel. I think I love this album primarily because of the kind of home feeling it gives me, because of the songs were in places where I lived, and a lot of that stuff kind of had a impact on me emotionally, so it's in the top 9. Number 8, this is an album I've loved forever, and it's now my favorite by this band, and has actually moved up a little bit from where it was into the number 8 spot. Ace Frehley's solo album from Kiss. I love this album. And now we're down to just 7 to go. Next one up, also from Yes. This album was probably in the 11th or 12th spot or somewhere in there before. It's now moved up into the 7th spot, the Yes album from Yes. In the number 6 spot, down a few, probably pretty close to where it was, but not. It was a top 5 before. It's now number 6. Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell. Still my favorite Sabbath album. Wasn't really surprised that happened. I've always loved that album. It was my first Sabbath album as well. The next 5. So one of them, of course, was here before. Was in the 3rd spot before. Has now dropped a couple spots. My Yes, Close to the Edge. I think it's primarily dropped because it's just burned out. I've listened to it so much over the years. I don't get that same rush that I used to feel from it. No puns intended. That's number 5. 4, sorry. No, number 5. Number 4. This spot was always held. Number 4 spot has been held by Rush for a while. Was Permanent Waves, now going to be held by Fly By Night. Fly By Night was a top 10 album for me before, and has continued to not burn out at all, but still capture my imagination. I love it. A couple tracks on here. Well, the whole album still resonates very well with me, so it's number 4. Number 3 was number 2 before. It got knocked out by the album one of the 2 albums that beat it, and that's Triumph's Just a Game. So this was my favorite album at one time. Got knocked out of the top spot by Pieces of 8, and now has been knocked out into the 3rd spot by this album, Songs from the Wood by Jethro Tull. The only Tull album on this list. I suspect that will change over the years. I have no doubt about that. But it's clearly my favorite Tull album. I love it from top to bottom. It even beat out some strong people to get to this spot. So Songs from the Wood, number 2. And number 1, everybody knows what that's going to be because it won the Masterpiece Album Awards. It's still my favorite. It's been my favorite for the past 5 years now since it took over from Triumph, and still is. So Styx's Pieces of 8 is still my number 1 favorite album. So that's my masterpieces for my Masterpiece Album War, my final 25 favorites. So I'm just going to give them to you in case you didn't. Some people like to get it in the top to bottom order, so we'll give it to you. Pieces of 8, number 1. Jethro Tull's Songs from the Wood, number 2. Triumph's Just a Game, number 3. Fly By Night by Rush, number 4. Close to the Edge, number 5. Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell, number 6. The Yes album, number 7. Ace Frehley's Solo from Kiss, number 8. Number 9 is Rush's Caress of Steel. And to lock out the number 10 spot, or the top 10, Trick of the Tail from Genesis. Number 13 from Equinox from Styx. Sorry, did I say number 13? That's actually number 11. Number 12, Black Sabbath's Master of Reality. And number 13, Rush's Permanent Waves. Okay, and so we're just going to move these up. So next up, we have Genesis, Songs from the Wood. That's number 14. Foxtrot, number 15. Alive, number 16. Rush's Hemispheres, number 17. Screaming for Vengeance, number 18. Wind in the Wuthering from Genesis, number 19. Black Sabbath's Paranoid, number 20. Paul Simon's Graceland, number 21. BTO's Not Fragile, number 21. Number 22. Number 23, Drama from Yes. Number 24, Trespass from Genesis. And number 25 from Peter Gabriel, Security. Now there's a lot, that last 5 or 6 albums, I had like 15 albums I was looking at for those last 5 spots. The 10 that didn't make it easily could be in there. Some of them things like Nursery Crime was one of those albums I was considering. For some reason, it hasn't done as well with me the last couple of years. I think it's just a little bit on the burnout side. There's a few other albums like that in there. Fragile from Yes is another one. Farewell to Kings from Rush is another one. Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast, which was usually in the top 25, didn't make it because it's kind of burnout. A lot of them are just from burnout. That's all it is. So I suspect that a lot of these newer albums that are going to go into the Masterpiece album will start coming on and maybe changing my top 25. You come back in a couple of years. So anyways, that was it. I wanted to give that to the people who had watched the Battle of the Masterpiece albums, who enjoyed that. I wanted to give them a list to see where I had changed or not changed. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make comments about anything I've said or done here, you can put that in the comment section below. Or if you want to list your own 25, you can do that. Or if you see some of them here you think are masterpieces but don't think the others are, you can do that as well. Whatever you feel comfortable doing, go right ahead and do. And we will see you all next Wednesday night when we do another episode of Favorites. Take care, have yourself a good evening, and goodbye.